Rivian looks to be going adventurous with the R2 wrap color choices because the launch is supposedly imminent of the R2. Keep in mind, not too long ago, RJ made a post showcasing that R2 vehicles that were fully painted were actually coming off the assembly line, and he said deliveries would start in a few months, and then he edited the post to say deliveries are starting soon. And just this morning, they gave CNBC an exclusive look at a production grade R2 with the inside and out, as well as actually driving them around on the inside. So jealous. They didn't even let anybody ride around at Autonomy Day, but it looks awesome. We've got, of course, the updated driver display. CNBC also apparently got exclusive footage of the assembly line showing the instrument panel being installed at the factory. But I must say, a detail not enough people were commenting on this up-close special is that the R2-D2 that they showcased at Autonomy Day, beautiful exterior, has the all blacked out interior. Keep in mind that the R2 unveiled a couple years ago, you know, the white exterior with the ocean coast interior. That's the one we've been seeing in trade shows for years, and that had much lighter tones. This new production grade R2 is all darked out, and I love it. Especially the fact that they are keeping the black headliner on the R2, but still keeping the glass roof. That just, I feel like, is the happy middle ground, because black headliner without the glass roof just makes it feel a little too dark on the inside. It's kind of like a coffin, but I was worried knowing how Tesla chose that grayish bland headliner for all those years and only just recently started offering a black headliner on the Model Y, that Rivian, in all of their efforts to cut cost, might just keep the basic gray headliner for all interior trims. But no, it looks like similar to what they did with the R1, they are changing the headliner based on which interior color option you choose. So the seats and headliners should match. It looks great. I'm also happy to see those scroll wheels are making it into production. Sadly, one detail that we're not entirely sure is making it though is the rear pop-out windows. That's something they talked about doing with the R2 when they first unveiled it, but looking into the video footage from CNBC, it doesn't look like there's an actuator, which is kind of what you need to have that be not like powered, of course, but a mechanical linkage. I had the exact same thing on my Chevy Trailblazer growing up. I basically grew up in the third row of a Trailblazer. We drove everywhere in that thing, but you could pop out those rear windows on the old Trailblazer. But maybe Rivian decided that that feature wasn't useful enough or common enough, so they might have ended up scrapping it. Here's hoping they did not scrap the rear window that is powered dropping into the rear hatch. That's going to be a super helpful feature, and a feature you don't even find on a $120,000 R1S. Recently, Rivian R2s were spotted on Reddit, say that 5 times fast, with all kinds of different droid-themed wraps, which I think is very appropriate and introduces an idea that I think might just be perfect for the launch of this vehicle, because they seem to be doubling down on all of this R2-D2 aesthetic. And you know, Star Wars Day is technically May 4th. That would be in the first half of 2026. So if Rivian really wanted to, they could deliver R2-D2 vehicles on May 4th. That would be so hilarious and appropriate. However, I actually hope that report is not true. It's a theory from Chris Hilbert, who's like an awesome Rivian fan, posts a lot of great updates. You should check him out if you're on X. But the main reason I hope it's not true is I don't want to wait till May 4th for first deliveries of this thing starting, especially considering, keep in mind, at Autonomy Day, they said they are going to start incorporating LiDAR on their Gen 3 autonomous platform, but that's not coming to the R2 until the end of 2026. So I would say it'd be awkward if the R2 launched in May, but then like in November, they started offering the LiDAR configuration, especially people who are going to be paying top dollar for the launch edition. I'm sorry, CNBC. Despite what a lot of the legacy media thinks, this vehicle is not really going to start at $45,000, at least right now. There's so much pent-up demand for the R2. Rivian has such great brand strength among their customer base. The R1S is selling insanely well in its price point. So similarly, I think the R2 launch edition could easily be $60,000, maybe even north of that, and they'd be sold out for months and months and months to come, because it would technically be the cheapest Rivian, and it would probably have better specs than the base model R1s, you know, which have standard range LFP battery packs, which are cool, but Rivian has had some issues with balancing them lately. The R2, however, is going to have the NACS charge port in the proper location, so road tripping in that thing's already going to be easier than the R1. The launch editions are also going to have 300 plus miles of range, not to mention the updated scroll wheels, which change dynamically based on what's on the display. I can't wait to try that that out. It sounds amazing. R2 still has plenty of storage space in the back. It'll probably be cheaper than an R1T and easier to car camp in because it's fully enclosed. That's why Rivian sells like 3 R1Ss for every R1T, because most people like SUVs. And not to mention, being the smallest Rivian, it's probably the most energy efficient. So it will be the cheapest to operate and maintain, probably even require less maintenance and service overall because it doesn't have an air suspension. It's a traditional coil suspension, unlike the R1 vehicles. So quite frankly, what I'm trying to say is for the first year of production, the R2 doesn't need to be sub $60,000. I think they will sell every one they can make for the first year, even at 60 grand, just because so many people are ready for a software-defined vehicle with great autonomous driving features, good efficiency, off-roading capability, storage space, and comfort that's also not a Tesla. That's a huge selling point. I think Elon is going to sell more R2s than anybody. I know it's probably too early to guess, but my first initial impressions with this video is that the interior of the R2 sounds and looks very quiet, very peaceful. It was not a ruggedy, like shaky experience like, oh, we still need to iron out the NVH. Like, it looked smooth for the CNBC interviewers. It looked great for RJ. And the great thing is, while they were driving it around at first glance, I didn't even realize they were in an R2. I thought he was driving around an R1S. And I think that's ultimately what they're trying to capture. That same Rivian feeling, but at a much, much more affordable price point eventually. Again, I think at the beginning it's going to be expensive, but with time and with more scale as they grow, they'll probably lower it down to, okay, here's the non-launch edition with a slower 0 to 60 for $55,000, and then here's a rear-wheel drive option for $50,000, and then maybe in a year and a half or so, we'll have like a sub 300 mile range, and maybe it becomes 250 or 240 with rear-wheel drive, and that one might end up being $45,000, and I still think that one would sell incredibly well just because people love Rivians. They love the design, they love the software, and I would certainly want one, but then you got to play the game of, well, do you want to just keep waiting for the R3? Because in this interview, RJ did clarify that they expect R3 production to begin in 2028, but he didn't want to get more specific than that. So take that as most likely end of 2028 before we can get the true hot hatch from Rivian that looks even more amazing. But how do you guys feel? Do you think the R2 is going to have to be cheaper than $60,000 for them to sell out within the first year? Are you waiting for the R3? Feel free to drop your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.